Noun. An inheritance, property that may be inherited. Heritage. Noun. A tradition, a practice or set of values that is passed down from preceding generations through families or through institutional memory. Heritage. Noun. A birthright, the status acquired by birth, especially of but not exclusive to the firstborn. Reference.
Barakatah Yahweh, gonna start this heritage quick video off of Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from your inheritance that I gave you, and I will cause you to serve your enemies in a land which you knoweth not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So Israel discontinued from their inheritance for a punishment from the Most High. Now when you go to Lamentations 5, chapter 5, verse 1, remember, O Lord, what is come upon us? Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless, our mothers are as widows. And so the nation of Israel inheritance or their land was inhabited by strangers. So when you go to Ezekiel 36, that's a precept to let you know who took the land. Ezekiel 36 verse 5. Therefore says the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which is Esau or Edom, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey. And not only did the heathens and the Idumeans or the Edomites take the land, here in Jeremiah 50, chapter 50, verse 33, it says, thus says the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Now, how did they take us captives and take our land from us? Now, when you go to Deuteronomy, it gives the punishment for breaking God's laws. It tells you how they was going to take our land and take us. In Deuteronomy 28:68, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. That's letting you know you're going to be taken from this land, and you're not going to see this land no more. And you're going to be taken away by ships. It say, and there, once you get off the ships, ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you or save you. So he was going to go into slavery again with ships, like he was in slavery in Egypt, and you was going to be sold to your enemies for bondman and bondwoman. That's why he say they refused to let us go, because we were sold to them and we're their possession, and they possessed our land too in the nation of Israel. Now Joel chapter 3 sums it all up. It says that chapter 3 verse 4 says, O Tyre and Zidon and all of the coast of Palestine, those nations. In verse 6 it says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Now in verse 2 it says that they parted the land. So you got the Arabs and the Idumeans fighting over the land, because the land is parted. And it said that he's gonna gather all nations to fight for his heritage. See, the heritage which was lost was his heritage along with the children of Israel's heritage. Now the nation of Israel is the Lord's inheritance, plus they have an inheritance. But that's the reason he sent his son. When you read Matthew chapter 1 verse 21, it say, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. For he shall save his people from their sins. And when you go to Psalms 135 verse 12, it say, and gave their land for an heritage. So the land is a heritage. And heritage unto Israel, his people. You see, his people is Israel. That's who he sent his son to save. And Psalms 33 verse 12 mirrors that statement, that precept. It reads, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, Yahweh, and the people whom he has chosen for his own inheritance. You see? And that's the nation of Israel. Now the Apostle Paul certified that inheritance that the Israelites would receive. And they try to throw dirt on his name and try to say he opened it up to the heathens and the other nations. And when you go to Acts 26, he lets you know, right before Yahushua, who they even call Jesus Christ, talked to him and opened his eyes, he lets you know what this thing was all about. 26, starting at verse 6, he said, and now I stand, and I am judged for the hope of the promise made of God unto our fathers, unto which promise our 12 tribes, instantly serving God day and night, hope to come. You see, that's what it was all about. So when Yahushua came to him, when you jump down to verse 17, Yahushua came to him and said, why are you persecuting me? And then Yahushua said, delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles unto whom now I send thee, to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan unto God, that they may receive forgiveness of sin and inheritance. You see there? Inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. So, and these Gentiles who he was sending them to wasn't the Gentiles or the nations. Because I know these other Bibles going to say the nations. But that's pretty much what he did. He was delivering the people from the nations and from the power of Satan. Because that's who the nations are. The heathens are Satan. The non-Israelites are Satan. They the adversary of God. You see? And to the only one that's going to get the inheritance that's of Israel is those who are sanctified by faith in Yahweh. Because all the Israelites is not going to get it. Only those who accept their inheritance and accept that they are Israelites through the faith. And Peter, Apostle Peter, he backed up Paul in 1 Peter 2nd chapter verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a particular people. You see? Then in 1 Peter 5 and 3, he said, neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock. So God's heritage is the nation of Israel. We are the chosen nation, the royal priesthood, the holy nation. And the Apostle Paul summed it up in Ephesians, the 1st chapter, verse 11. He said, in whom we have obtained an inheritance, being predestinated according to the purpose of him who worketh all things for the counsel of his own will. So we obtained that inheritance. And it was predestinated to obtain it. And in verse 14 of chapter 1 of Ephesians, he wrote them. He said, which is the earnest of our inheritance until the redemption of the purposed possession. That means the land. We will get this purchased possession unto the praise of his glory. So this inheritance is the land and the law, according to the law was an inheritance too, according to Ecclesiastes 24:23 of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 24:23, that the law was even an inheritance. So I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace of the elect worldwide. Death to America. Death to these red dragons. Shalom.